That's how I got the info.
I knew it. Well,
have no gag reflex, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a great way to start it. Now we're going to round two this one, or part two, I guess, of the WWE rumor that it was going to be sold, and then there's been new information today, and then I don't know, just some other general wrestling stuff. I don't know. You weren't on with us on part one, but when you saw that mess with the potential rumor, what was your take on that?
Keep trying to replace me. Just slowly.
No, you just don't show up.
We scheduled today. We didn't schedule yesterday.
Don't worry about it.
I was in bed by 8:30 yesterday. I just crashed.
That's an excuse I don't want to hear ever again.
Yeah, I think what we need to bring up is that you're an hour earlier than I am, and Bob works weird hours.
No, it's not a good.
I do work 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. So
yeah, it's not a good enough excuse.
Normal quotes.
But no, really, really weird thing. Broke late Tuesday night. When you woke up Wednesday morning, Rich, what were you?
Are we talking about I'm sorry, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, the rumor on the sale to the Saudi Arabian government, basically.
I wasn't surprised. See, I thought it fit in with everything else, because when they said that he was back to sell it, which makes sense. Kind of. And then Stephanie is out. Like, she put in her resignation. And it's like, well, you can't have a Saudi company with a woman running it. So that kind of fed into the whole thing. And I still see them being the ones to put the money. I mean, they already have that deal for the crown jewel or whatever hell it's called. And they're giving them a pile of money. And they just put all that money into the fake golf thing. I guess it's not fake. The new golf thing. So we might as well give them, or they might as well have a wrestling thing attached to it. So I still believe it's happening. Like, I still think when this is all said and done, the Saudis are going to wind up owning it.
Yeah, so I know Daniela dropped a message in our text thread quickly about it, kind of like, hey, let's leak the news and see how the reaction goes beforehand. And I think it's an interesting point. It's very possible as to what may be the case here, which lends credence to what you're saying. And I think we brought up all the same points yesterday, particularly with Stephanie McMahon jumping ship. Now, granted, and we look on the other side of it, that was coming. She really only came back because Vince left, for all the allegation stuff, whatever.
Yeah. Now
that he's back in the fold, she goes back away. But then, yeah, exactly what you said about the Saudi Arabian basically government. That's what I'm going to keep referring to it as. And they just don't have a good viewpoint with women in general. So,
nope.
No, unless you're a straight dude, they really just pretty much hate you.
Unless you're a straight dude reporter, and then they're not a fan of you either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, other breaking news that's literally just breaking. Lisa Marie Presley is dead at 54.
Yeah, I heard about that just before we popped on. Sucks.
I saw that she had a cardiac arrest, but I didn't know she didn't make it.
She did not make it. But yeah, so that sucks.
Lisa Marie Presley Jackson.
Lisa Marie Presley Jackson. Yeah.
Yep.
Oof. Elvis is rolling over in his spaceship on that one.
Helped give him legitimacy.
Hey, speaking of, we can tease out something. Isn't that one of those old wives' tales that he's still alive?
Yeah.
So we have to add that to the list.
Elvis or Michael Jackson?
Both.
Yeah.
No, Elvis. I don't know about MJ on that one.
I did.
Who knows? We can make that one up though.
Hell yeah, we can make that one up.
He's living somewhere as an old white man.
I did pick up the Elvis Presley classic Christmas album at Target today on clearance.
Nice.
Yeah. My grandmom used to play it every Christmas, and she passed you know. And so when I saw it, and then it was $9, I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's grab that." But yeah, back to wrestling. Another interesting thing that I just found out. So they're doing all these filings with the SEC. And remember how Shane O'Mac was supposedly let go from the company?
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Yeah, guess what? He wasn't.
It wasn't let go, was he?
He was not let go. He let's see, he pulled in $828,000 as an independent contractor with WWE.
But he wasn't in a management position.
No, he was not. He was.
Yeah, that was always my understanding, that he was released, or he removed himself from whatever upper tier role that he had.
Yeah, but they still kept him on the payroll to the tune of $828,000.
Yeah.
So, small potatoes in the grand scheme. But when they were cutting people left and right, and they still managed to keep Shano on, that's just more fuel to the Vince is a piece of shit fire.
I guess that looks really bad when you're a publicly traded company, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they actually, there was some more breaking news where Vince, they had said JP Morgan was going to be coming in to help facilitate, but Vince actually brought in somebody else. Let me see. He retained some organization to let's see, Vince McMahon, the Rain Group, which I don't know who the fuck they are, but they led the way in UFC's $4 billion sale, and they're going to be retained to help facilitate this sale. So I don't know what that does with JP Morgan. Okay, so they had hired JP Morgan to advise, and now they're using this other company also, I guess. And basically, I still have to imagine that they're selling to Saudi's public investment fund, aka their government. I don't know, man. I just can't see this going any other way. I feel like the only way it doesn't go that way is if somehow the current shareholders sue and block the sale, or the SEC blocks the sale. But I feel like this deal has been done for months in principle, and it's now just them clearing the road for it.
Funny you should say sue, because I was saw earlier that there's a couple of lawsuits. At least one already, with some more coming. Shareholders are suing Vince for coming back and using his 81% influence to change the board.
Good.
They're saying it's not to the benefit of the stockholders and the board, however that works.
Yeah, well, no, it absolutely isn't. It's
that's
Vince's benefit only. Like, that's, yeah.
He's treating a public company like a private company.
Right.
It's not cool at all. And I don't know, Bob, I don't know if this is what you were alluding to, and I don't mean to steal you on this one, but did you see the article from CNBC about an hour or so ago? Kind of a long shot deal. I don't know. And CNBC is pretty reputable, but
no, I didn't see it.
WWE's smaller rival AEW interested in merger. And it says it's a long shot, obviously, because who knows that Vince would ever want to merge with AEW, but
it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I would say exactly the same thing. It would never happen. But at the same point, it's kind of interesting because the family, obviously, that owns AEW is pretty loaded. So
yeah. That's the thing. If they want to go money, I mean, I don't think that the Khan family can compete with the government of Saudi Arabia.
God.
But if that gets blocked and Vince is just like, you know what, fuck it, I just want out, and it comes down to who's going to give the most money, I don't know, man. They own, what's the soccer team they own?
Fulham.
Okay, so they own Fulham, and they own the Jaguars, and
they went Fulham.
Fulham.
and then they own obviously AEW and Ring of Honor. I don't know, dude.
And they have access to that door that they keep talking about. Well, they haven't talked about it lately.
The Forbidden One?
Yeah, that one.
Well, the other thing too is they already have TV rights too, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's that rights with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is not a small company.
No, but they've been kind of squirrely lately, with getting rid of stuff, and there was talks that they weren't going to renew the TV rights with AEW. So I don't know. AEW may look at it as, okay, we're procuring WWE and looking at it from a TV rights. That's what AEW.
That's kind of what I was alluding to.
Okay.
WWEs are obviously coming up soon. The Fox one ends with 25,
Mm-hmm.
and they already have a package locked up with NBC Universal as far as the streaming stuff's concerned. I don't know what the contract's like, but with Peacock.
You said cock.
Yeah, exactly. I did,
Yep.
But even with all its problems to have, and I alluded to this the other night, the library and content that they have is second to none.
Right.
No one's competing with that. AEW could be on for 50 years and still have a hard time coming up with that amount of content.
Coliseum videos.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous with all the stuff there. Just think, I mean, you have 30 some odd years worth of World Rumbles to watch, 30 some odd years of WrestleManias, and all these other pay-per-views, all the WCW stuff, all these other, well, I don't like to say ECW because it's kind of bastardized.
Well, they have the old school ECW too. That they have all the stuff. It's all there.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the music.
Yeah, that's the only problem. Is that I
don't think ECW had the music either, which I think is also the problem.
Yes, they did, Rich. I don't want to hear
it.
Okay.
Listen, they might not have had it, but it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just there for elevator music. That's it.
You know what they say in Philadelphia is snitches get stitches.
It was
ambiance.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all. Like you said, with the elevator music, it was just ambiance. There was not. It wasn't like they weren't using it for the wrestlers.
No, it was just random too. I mean, it just so happened that Enter Sandman came on every single time Sandman popped through those curtains. I mean,
but it wasn't set up that way. It was just random.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It was just done so well, and the tracks would get stuck too. Like when New Jack would come out, it would just keep playing over and over and over. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it was
not to derail, but we always do anyway. But I don't know if you guys watched Dynamite or not, but Don Callis was on commentary for I think the finale, the Elite versus
Death Triangle.
Osiris the Virus was back. Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Wait, was he called? Was he?
No, they called him Don Callis.
I was just saying. Because that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't. He probably doesn't own the rights to that though.
No, but fuck WWE.
Hell, dude, it probably was so long ago. It's probably public domain.
Yeah, it might be.
He was with Taz. Him and Taz were doing well. I mean, everyone was there, but just it was neat to see him and Taz together.
That is cool.
Yeah,
that is cool. Oh, let's check that out. Actually,
it was a good episode. It was worth it for the main event. Like I said, it was a lap ball. I guess it was I don't know what they called it. It was like a ladder match for the triple. Yeah, and then
the title.
Thank you. And the wow, I've only had 2 whiskeys. The
Young Bucks and
no, I'm talking about a different match now.
Oh, okay.
It was the American Dragon versus somebody else.
But it was Bryan Danielson versus
was it
wait,
oh gosh,
versus Takeshita?
Yeah, that was good. That was an amazing match. It was very good.
Yeah.
And it opened with a MJF promo because he's the one that's putting down through all these matches.
Yeah, but that match did, yeah, because he called him take a shitta.
Yeah,
And then he pointed out Freddie Prinze Jr. and
Who looks really old.
who else was in? There was somebody else he pointed out too.
Freddie Prinze was in the crowd.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, Freddie
Wow.
Prinze Jr. was in the crowd. He pointed him out. He pointed out Chris Masters.
Oh, Ken Jeong.
And yeah.
Oh, was he? That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the night started off with Mox versus Adam Page, and they were sowing the seeds for a Mox heel turn.
Yeah, that was just okay. I kind of fast forwarded through that one. And Adam Cole's back, and
thank God.
We talked about skinny people before, and he's like a twin. They have a lot of little. They need like a.
But he's more in the Shawn Michaels mold, though. He's not. I thought
he looked. But maybe it's because he was dressed right, but he looked really. Or maybe it's just because he came back too. But he looked small.
Yeah, but he's not small like Darby Allin's small.
No, I guess
he's
not.
Still
Darby Allin just sucks.
Yeah.
So for reference, Shawn is built at 6'1", Adam Cole's built at 6 foot. I think the difference though is Adam Cole, for whatever reason, and I think I know what you're saying, Rich. At times he looks like he's under 6. Like he looks like he's a 5'9" guy.
Yeah.
But he fights like he's a 6 foot plus guy. He's just he I don't know. I always thought he presented himself well for being on the smaller side. But yeah, I get it. I don't know that he's actually really 6 foot tall, to be honest with you, though. Maybe with some inserts in his shoes.
No, I like Adam Cole.
I do too. I loved his. I've absolutely loved every second of his run in NXT with the Undisputed Era, which was very, very, not. I can't. It's underrated. Not the way underappreciated might be a thing. If you look back at, that group would be with him, and then Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. I mean, just amazing.
Yeah, that was one of my things that I was upset with AEW about, was how I feel like they kind of botched that, man. They could have taken that and run with it. They could have had the Undisputed Era run roughshod over everybody in NXT or AEW, but I guess with Adam Cole getting hurt, it kind of put the kibosh on that.
Well, with him getting hurt, and then I think, like I said, we brought this up on many episodes ago, but when Bobby Fish was released, it was kind of like, what in the world's going on? Right. And then to come to find out, he's like 10 years older than everyone else in that faction. It's like, oh, I didn't know that at all.
They also have too many people for the number of shows they have, so it's hard to. I can see where people get upset not getting airtime or whatever, just because it is such a huge roster. And then we'll keep it on. I know we were talking about the other one, but they Big Cass finally had like a match. It was like his first match since he's been there, and he's been there for 6 months now, maybe a little longer than that. And he had like maybe 5 minutes total of like wrestling time during that whole thing. And I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but it didn't look good.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be a great in-ring technician, but they
barely used him though. Like he was there for a minute, and then he took the fall for the match, and that was like it. They used him to sell Hook.
So just poor booking, basically.
Against him, I guess. Good booking for Hook. Hook, I think he got him up with a T-bone suplex. Like he tried a couple of times, couldn't get him up, and they finally got him into the suplex, and he was all shocked, and then they won.
What they need to do is they need to get ROH up and running.
Yeah.
Once they get ROH up and running.
I think they do, but it's like a subscription thing. It's an online only thing.
But do they have weekly shows?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not subscribing to it, so I don't know.
Yeah, they brought back
the for it yet.
What was it called? It was something of honor. It's like their WWE network. I forget what they call it, but they have the same thing because they still have their library of content, and like Rich said, they produce their pay-per-views or whatever, and then they I think they're starting to do like a weekly program.
Honor Club, I think it's called.
Honor, yeah, that's it. Honor Club. Yeah. But hell, even Billy Corgan's NWA was doing that internet only. What was that on YouTube? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to put it out there. I mean, everyone watches YouTube.
Yeah.
I found AEW through YouTube. Like I was watching the dark matches first before I really,
Yeah, exactly.
the time of the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way things are. I mean, I don't know. Like if I were them, I would do the same thing. Like, why can't I do some ROH Dark or whatever, or some kind of 30-minute show or just anything?
Right.
The best thing I got out of the Ring of Honor stuff was Dalton and the boys. I thought they were fantastic, and then they dropped the titles, and now I don't see them as much anymore.
Well, they're talking about doing. Tony Khan was talking about. He was asked about it, and he was saying that they're going to look at doing either more shows, or they're talking about doing house shows because
Yeah,
they
I did see
haven't been
that.
doing house shows.
Now they'd canceled house shows of COVID, correct or no?
No, from what I understand, there was no house shows from the jump.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right.
But they're talking about now doing some house shows. So we'll see. I mean, typically, Fort Myers is a house show territory for WWE, but when AEW came here, it was a legit like taping. And they've been playing smaller places. Like they played Boardwalk Hall in either Wildwood or Atlantic City. I don't remember which one.
Atlantic City.
It was in Atlantic City?
Yeah.
And they play the Liacouras Center when they go to Philly. So, they're playing these venues that are sizable, but not, WWE level arenas. So maybe that means that they're going to start hitting those kind of places as their house shows, and then like the bigger WWE type arenas for their normal shows.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts and watched a lot of different videos over the years, and read articles about the house show industry is meant, or the house show part of the industry is strictly for getting people's eyes on the product alive, and to try to keep them. It's not necessarily a moneymaker. It's just to try to get the people like interested, and then you're hooked.
Right.
So then you will tune in every week. I think the house show money is made off merch. Maybe I've never recall anyone saying, other than like a big like pay-per-view type deal, where obviously it's not a house show, but like where the ticket sales, the gate was anything. So I think it's really just like try to build your audience and then make a few bucks off merch. I don't know.
So let me I'm going to take it back to because we got way off from what we were talking about.
Sorry. It's still wrestling.
Yeah, I mean it's still wrestling, but so no, don't apologize. I mean it's all good organic conversation. That's what we should be striving for. But let me ask you this: so, say the deal does go through, either Saudi buys it or somebody else buys it, and Vince decides he wants to stay in charge. Triple H obviously has been that'll be now NXT that was taken from him and ruined by Vince, and WWE proper taken from him and ruined by Vince. At what point do you think he says, you know what, enough is enough, fuck this company, I'm going to go start my own?
I absolutely love the sentiment, honestly. I'll be the first one to tell you, I never really cared for Triple H as an in-ring performer. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not saying that he did not have incredible matches, and then the stuff with DX was amazing. I'm not saying that. I just, as a whole, in the era that he was in, I really enjoyed the work of Stone Cold and The Rock and Mick Foley and The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and all these other guys ahead of him. So,
yeah.
Now, on the other side of the coin, as behind-the-scenes guy, I don't think there's anyone better. I think he proved that with NXT Black and Gold. That was the most watchable wrestling I've seen still in the last, 2 decades. Week in, week out. Just fantastic programming there from about 2013, 14 to 19-ish, 20-ish maybe. Basically until it got ruined.
Right.
You couldn't beat it. I mean, that was just in my opinion. So I would love it. I'd love to see him because he's got a lot of faithful followers to him. So just can't imagine he would pull over, but I could see him stealing from both.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rich, what do you think on something like that?
No, I agree. I mean, you've already had wrestlers say that if they do get bought by Saudi Arabia, that they're leaving. They're not staying with the company. And then you have people that Triple H just brought back, like people he just brought back that are going to be William Regal, one of them, possibly Andrade, that are going to be very upset if Vince comes back. So I think that's one of the reasons Regal left, I think, was because Vince couldn't get along with him or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I liked Triple H he definitely wasn't my favorite. I mean, obviously but that's like when I was watching WWE a lot, and I never minded Triple H. I thought he was an okay wrestler.
Yeah, he was. I liked him, but I was always a bigger fan of Stone Cold and The Rock and everything.
I never liked Stone Cold. He was the one I couldn't get into. I just never liked the character, I guess.
See, I was sold on him back to the because right when he was just starting to leave ECW is right when I picked up ECW in that time frame. So they were still replaying his promos at times for like video sales. So I got to catch a lot of them. Then he was making his debut back as the ringmaster or whatever he was before he became Stone Cold in the 96-ish time frame. So I was like, this guy's crazy. Like he's gonna be something at some point. Never realized that would turn into Stone Cold Steve Austin, but of course he had the stuff with Bob. You and I talked about it with the Hollywood Blondes. And of course I picked up on that later. It wasn't like I was religiously watching WCW because I thought that they were awesome at the time. It took me later in life to go back and pick up on that.
Boy, I was shocked to find out that going talking about the Blondes, but Scott Hall stuff before he was Razor Ramon in wherever the hell that was, one of those.
The Diamond Stud.
Diamond Stud.
Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't NWA. It was
no, it was WCW.
It was WCW. Yeah.
It was pre WCW, so whatever they called themselves before that.
It was still WCW. It was just like a weird It
was like WCCW or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was a whole
Championship Wrestling.
No, that was a whole other organization.
Was it?
Yeah, World Class was out of Texas, if I recall correctly.
Wow. I thought World Class Championship Wrestling just rebranded as WCW.
Scott Hall had a Remco action figure, like back in the early '80s, from whatever this wrestling thing was. Remco Scott Hall. AWA, that's what it was.
AWA.
That's right. He was AWA. Yeah, he was in with Bischoff and some of those other guys because that was Vern Gagne territory.
Okay.
Yeah, World Class was out of Texas. That was the one that was Fritz von Erich.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then it kind of folded up. You're right though, as far as time goes, it folded up around the late '80s, 1990. So it would have fallen right into that time frame of WCW really becoming WCW.
Back when wrestlers could still have body hair. I missed my time.
Did you? Hey, speaking of the Von Erichs, though, did you see that those pictures of what the hell's his name, Zac Efron, that's been floating around because he's doing the Von Erich story?
Yeah, I did see that. You guys are pretty familiar with the whole Von Erich thing, right? As far as all the tragedy in that family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a movie or a hell of a story.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that movie. But I was surprised. Like I didn't even think it was him. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then.
Yeah, because he's playing. Which one is he playing?
Is he playing Carrie?
I don't.
No. Who the fuck is he? We all have Google, goddammit. And none of us gives a shit.
He is playing Kevin. Playing Kevin Von Erich.
Okay.
Who was a brother. So. Yeah. In fact, it's so crazy. I think it was the Dark Side of the Ring about the Von Erichs. They talk about how Carrie, because Carrie was missing part of his leg. and like never bothered to really tell anybody, and wrestled like that for years, and got signed by the WWF like that, and still never bothered to tell anybody. And it's like the guy wrestled with one leg, and no one knew. It's the most insane thing.
Dude, look, wrestlers are a different beast, man. There's some crazy shit that goes on.
Never mind. I was going to go with a bad. I'm not going to do it. Never mind.
But no, you're right. I'm really looking forward to catching that one too. Wasn't there supposed to be a Vince? Speaking of him, going back to that, wasn't there supposed to be a biopic on him?
Yeah. I wonder how that's coming along.
Yeah, I think they stopped production.
I was going to say, is it being put out by WWE Productions? It's going to be one of those.
See, like it's going to be a completely whitewashed fucking
greatest man ever. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's being put out by. Let me see. It's called
Pandemonium.
It's called La Studios. It's
yeah.
The FIP of Saudi Arabia is putting it out.
Yeah, it was supposed to be called Pandemonium, and then the only really note was that Bradley Cooper was offered to play the role of Vince. That was it.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder how quick he turned that shit down.
I wonder why they stopped moving forward with the movie. It just doesn't make any sense to me on why they did that.
Seriously. Like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah. So that one won't be coming out.
No, I can't. I'd imagine that one's going to sit on the shelf for a while.
Yeah. Well, it was never made, so pretty good. Just had a name.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I'm pretty sure that.
Oh yeah, the story or anyway.
Yeah, the whole the script is going to sit on the shelf for a while and probably never get made.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I don't know. Kind of going back though on that whole sale thing, and I could have said this last night when we were recording. I just really think, and again, that this was a leverage move. I still think that there's someone else that's going to pick it up, and that someone else being NBC Universal Comcast. I truly believe that. I just don't. Even Vince, I just can't see. I guess I could with him. I don't know. It's hard. Ruining all that company just for nothing, basically. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to think that he won't, but I just don't have. I have so little faith in him as a human being that I feel like it's not. I wouldn't put it past him to just destroy the company because he can't have it.
Right. Yeah. When we talked about that, if I can't have it, no one can.
Also, you got to remember, he comes from a time when wrestling was akin to carny folk, so he's got that carny showman mentality too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. They. I forget who said it. It might have been Bruce Pritchard, or no, it was Jim Cornette that said it about Vince. He's a cross between like P.T. Barnum, Donald Trump, and someone else. And it was like a pretty dead spot on, but I can't remember what he said.
I'm full of steroids and HGH.
Hey man, listen, no matter what you say about the guy, the one thing you cannot knock, he rocks a fucking pompadour like nobody's fucking business. I'm super fucking jealous about that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a pompadour, and clearly it's not fucking going to happen now.
You mentioned our wonderful Mad King, Trump, a couple seconds ago, and I was just watching something about ways WWE wrote people off of TV, and they brought up the whole car explosion Vince was in.
Oh, yeah.
And they said that Trump actually called him to make sure he didn't die and that he was okay.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, here's a quote. It was this was from Jim Cornette. If you could cross a genius with P.T. Barnum and Donald Trump, you would get the love child. That would be Vince McMahon.
Yeah. I don't like corny at all, but that's fucking spot on.
Rich, how good's your memory? Do you remember what happened the week after the limo explosion?
Was that the man who we shall not name killed his wife and kids?
Yep. Oh, what an awkward time.
The Canadian Wolverine, where the hell they called him?
What was the thing that they were calling him?
What?
I can't. Shit.
About the Wolverine part?
No, there was something else that I forget what they were referring to him as, but
wife killer?
Huh?
Wife killer? Murderer?
Well, yeah, I mean, like piece of shit murderer.
Don't know necessarily if he was messed up from all that stuff. He probably didn't know exactly what he was doing, so you give him a little bit of a leeway. Like, I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying that you can't really call him a piece of shit if he wasn't in the right state of mind.
I don't know, man. Look, here's the deal. I defer to
save the dogs. That's all that matters. I remember them saying that he called somebody and said the dogs are out back. Come get them. Don't go in the garage. So he saved the dogs.
Wow.
Yes.
I in this situation, I defer to Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman was doing one of his shows, and somebody said somehow Chris Benoit came up, and somebody yells, "It's my boy!" And he stops the show dead in its tracks. He goes, "Really? Which one of you idiots said that?" And then he said he killed 2 people and himself. And they said CTE. And he goes, "That's bullshit." Because think about it this way. I get it, man. You know what? CTE is a terrible thing. CTE causes people to do things. But he had enough sense to get around, to run his matches, to do this, to do that. You can't tell me he didn't know exactly what the fuck he was doing when he killed his son and his wife. So I have no fucking sympathy whatsoever.
Yeah, the Paul Heyman thing was pretty spot on. I remember that.
Yeah. So look, CTE is a big thing. CTE is an issue. Mental health is a huge issue. And certain times, yes, I will 100% say, hey, look, you know what? They weren't in the right frame of mind. They weren't this, they weren't that. Chris Benoit situation, I can't. I can't fucking do it.
Now, going back to, again, speaking of oddball things, so we talked about the week prior with Vince blowing up in the limo. Did he not? He came out speaking that week after, though, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, well, it was so. Do you remember that whole thing?
I watched the episode, because it was like a tribute to him.
Yeah, they were doing like he was walking out past everybody, and everybody was like just either staring at him or like the heels were like shaking his hand and shit. And he was walking out past everybody and went out to his car, and then boom. And then like I'm sitting there because I was living in Port Republic. Me and Big Matt were sharing the apartment. And I think I was in my room and he was in his room, and we were both watching it. And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And he's like, "I don't fucking know." And we were just like, we came out to the kitchen, we're like, "Did that actually just fucking happen? Like, what the fuck are they thinking right now?" And then, of course, obviously, we all know what happened after that. And then he comes out and apologizes and says, "Well, I'm not really dead, pal. That was fake." Like, you get no shit, Vince.
According to the thing I watched, apparently the way they swung it was he faked his death to see what his family thought of him, or to find out what his family really thought of him.
Yeah, I remember that. It was so weird. What a weird time.
Yeah. Just bizarre. Like, look, we've had some stupid ass storylines. We talk about it all the time. With Mae Young gives birth to a hand.
Better than
why did you go any further than that? Like, that's kind of. But that storyline with Vince was just fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And thank God we didn't get some of the ones that he wanted to do, like the whole him cheating on Linda with Stephanie
Oh,
and shit like that. Like,
well, think about some of the stuff that we did get. The Katie Vick stuff.
yeah,
You already mentioned the Mae Young stuff, but that was so over the top corny that it was like, I don't know, throw your hands up at it. Richie mentioned Carnival. I mean, or Bob, you did. It's
Didn't
like
he did have a thing where he having an affair with Tori Wilson, or was it the other one? I can't think of the other blonde girl's name.
Keebler, right?
Stacey Keebler.
Okay.
But pick one of them though, because he was supposedly with Trish Stratus.
That's the one I was trying to think of. Okay.
Oh, okay.
He was with Stacey Keebler. He was with Tori Wilson. Like, there's not many females that he didn't link himself to romantically.
Well, when you compare Vince McMahon to George Clooney, there's not much difference there. So I can see where Stacey Keebler would be into both of them.
Yeah. Is Stacey Keebler no, he's not still, or she's not still.
Nah, he's married to some lawyer woman now, George Clooney.
Yeah, Amal Clooney, I think is her name.
I don't know.
They just liked her because she was a WCW Nitro girl. I don't want to hear any different.
Look, I liked her because, I mean, shit, she was hot. Probably still is.
Wasn't she with Derek Jeter for a time too, or no?
I thought it was Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez. I knew it was one of those baseball folks from New York.
One of those New York douchebags.
Was A-Rod the one that was with Jenny from the Block too?
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he sent her running back to Ben.
And now they're happily married.
Yep.
Yep.
Jennifer 2.0.
And that's how you go from Vince McMahon to Ben Affleck in 30 seconds, kids.
Yep.
6 degrees of Ben Affleck. Affleck was the Bob and Phantoms, yo.
I'm just Jenny from the Block.
So we've determined that Ben Affleck was the one that blew Vince McMahon's limo up.
Ew, Ben Affleck's splooge. Yeah, South Park used to be a good show.
I miss South Park, man.
Still on, just not as good.
Yeah, I tried to watch the Integrity Weed, like the streaming wars.
Yeah,
it was. I don't know.
It's it's hard. What is it in season 25?
Their quarantine special is pretty good.
Yeah, I like the
that was good.
Special.
Yeah,
but the streaming wars let me down.
That show was.
They made the Italian guy the bad guy, and you can't do that. That is awesome. That's racist.
That's right.
I'm offended.
That is one of those shows that
their knees.
You could have these moments of just amazing episodes, or at least content that would make great clips. But if you really sat down and not years ago, but now really try to flame through it, I don't know. I don't know that I can watch it.
Speaking of famous Italians, Captain Lou Albano.
Nice.
Oh,
cool.
Always have weird shit next to me.
Did I send you guys the link to the Captain Planet movie?
Yes, with
Leonardo DiCaprio is trying to push for that to get made.
It's interesting. He's not going to play him?
No, I can't imagine.
I was going to say.
I can't imagine, but he really loved that show as a kid.
There's only one person that can play Captain Planet, and it's The Rock. We gotta get The Rock in there.
No, dude, it's Ted Turner.
No, Ted Turner's too old now.
Oh no, he's not. Have you seen
Ted Turner's the little computer voice guy that we were talking about last time I was here? The one that was voiced by Tim Curry.
Oh yeah. Oh, poor Tim Curry.
Yeah.
No, we'll get Don Cheadle to play him. He already did the perfect version of him. Live action.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
I think Don Cheadle wins.
I think that would be a whole other thing. Like who would play a good, or who would make a good Captain Planet live action movie? I don't know.
Black Adam failed. I'm telling you, The Rock needs something to pick him back up again. This is it.
No, The Rock is coming to the MCU. You watch. I don't know who he's gonna fucking play, but The Rock is coming to the MCU.
So breaking news here, folks. Marvel has taken over the Captain Planet property, and The Rock will be now playing Captain Planet in the MCU.
I wonder if anybody has CaptainPlanet.com.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Let's see what it links to.
Because if it's open, you realize we have to fuck or CaptainPlanetMovie.com.
It's spinning.
Oh shit!
It's spinning what?
Did we just get a new fucking domain name?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Surely someone owns it.
Nah, let's see.
I'm popping in now, and even if it's not owned, it's going to cost like several $1,000s a year.
Captain Planet.
This movie or this site cannot be reached. Well, let's fucking buy it.
CaptainPlanet.info is available.
It's already registered.
Yeah.
What about CaptainPlanetMovie.com?
You can get CaptainPlaw.net for $12.
The CaptainPlanet.com.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with us?
There's CaptainPlanet.us. That's $12.
CaptainPlanet.fun is $2.
.fun.
Fun.
CaptainPlanet.icu.
Jesus.
CaptainPlanetMovie.space.
.space. What the fuck are these fucking domains?
No.
CaptainPlanet.store is only 99 cents for the first year, but then $29.99 every other year.
Wow.
Okay, so CaptainPlanet.com was created back in February of 2000. It is everything's redacted.
Yeah, Captain Planet movie is taken as well.
Well, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What about Captain Planet 8?
Wait a minute. GoDaddy will broker it for you if you give them $69.99, and then I guess you pay whatever they come to the agreement on.
$69.
Oh, there ain't no telling. Isn't there a site that shows what domains are worth?
I think there is, but I'm not going to look it up now.
So
Captain Planet .movie is available, but they want $49.99 a year and then $429.99 after that.
Yeah, how about they kiss my asshole?
.movie is an expensive domain name, apparently.
.movie. Kiss my ass.
All right, I threw it into the GoDaddy domain appraiser, and it says an estimated value of $5,000.
But it's not though. Like, what's Schwarberfest.com estimated?
$12. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point. I just typed it in, and we'll see what that's worth. It's somehow worth $557. There's no way that's accurate. There's no way that no one's going to buy it. There's no way that's accurate. Let's see. I'll just type in noisebrigadepod.com, and that'll probably come up as $557 as well.
Dude, that reminds me, though, we probably should check and see
37 cents.
Which of our websites is still active.
They're all active. It's all about I kept mine on a renewal. So
did you?
HarleyQuinnSmith.com or HarleyQuinnSmith8myballs.com is still there because I just went to it today.
Yeah, I think they're all active. Honestly, like at least I know the ones I did are.
I'll probably have to go back and redo mine because I think I didn't do the auto renew. I don't think.
I don't know that it matters. I don't know that we have. I was eventually going to stop doing them, but yes. I gave it another year.
We need to build our own server.
That's Rich's job.
So how do we do that though? Like, say we build our own server, and then how do we make a domain?
Then you got to find a wonderful amount of bandwidth to host your site if you actually get hits.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that.
For a site like us, though, I mean, I went hosted because it was free, but I had a site hosted. Jesus Christ, Raspberry Pi. I had a server running on a Raspberry Pi, and nobody was using it other than me, so there wasn't any bandwidth things. There are issues with it going. Bandwidth is, I don't want to say free anymore, but I mean, we're never going to, I mean, even if like we hit 1,000 listeners, I don't think bandwidth would be a big deal.
I just know that like mine, I still am under the Comcast. Here's a stupid thing. So Comcast, if you use your own equipment, still caps your monthly.
Yeah.
But if you pay for their stupid equipment, then they give you unlimited. It's a really skeevy way of doing it. But I've never hit my cap. But I could see getting close with my overall usage anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because I think the cap is like 1.2 terabytes, and I think we routinely hit 700 or 800 gigs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't checked my bandwidth, but I know what I'm downloading and streaming and stuff, so I got to be getting close to the same thing you just said. So yeah,
I'm gonna be probably very soon switching over to it's called Quantum Fiber.
I'm not even sure if Verizon shows you your bandwidth. I used to watch it all the time on Comcast, but
Is that just a Quantum? Is that just Florida, or is that a?
I don't know. They used to be CenturyLink, but CenturyLink sold their internet service side or something like that, and it's now fiber optic network. So they're putting it in, but it's only going to be $70 a month.
No, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I've been at the house for about 6 years now. I don't think I've ever logged into my FiOS thing because I pay it automatically. So I don't even know what my FiOS username is.
I have the greatest internet bill. That's the one thing is I have internet only with Comcast, and the reason why I don't do anything other than internet is because of the school district our kids go to. We get the money back for internet.
Oh, nice.
So like I pay $25 a month, and our speed is a gig. So
dude, yeah, ours is like $170 is my last bill for gig speed.
Yeah, I pay $25. Yeah. What's crazy though is it's my only option. So I guess I could do Starlink or whatever, or some other random DSL crap. But there's an AT&T fiber that's, I'm not kidding you, buried right across the street in my neighbor's yard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use it because I'm not a business. It's insane.
The fuck?
I could tell them I'm a business, but because we were it doesn't matter. So let's say like, hey, yeah, I'm running a bakery out of my home, whatever. I have a business. It doesn't matter. It's still a home, so they will not. I've already questioned it because I was really curious, and they said they will not hook you up because I'm not in a commercially zoned whatever. That's
the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in my life.
Yep. No. I'd imagine they plan on expanding to residences, but it's been there, and I've been here in this house for 8 years. No, shit, this will be 10 years now. And yeah, same thing. Like it's been there the entire time. Can't use it.
Well, I don't think we have access to Verizon FiOS yet in Cape Coral, which is beyond weird to me since we're one of the fastest growing cities in the country. But we have the options of either Starlink, like you said. We can do like the wireless, like the Wi-Fi.
Like the point-to-point
5G, basically.
Yeah.
We can do Comcast, or we can do this Quantum Fiber. And like you said, the Quantum Fiber, $70 a month for gig speed. Save me $100 a month. Fuck yeah, I'm in.
You know what's crazy is my dad lives like 15 minutes outside of the town where he's at. He has fiber. Like he lives out not in the middle of nowhere, but it's in the country. I mean, he has 20 acres and several cow. So, but he has fiber internet. So, go figure.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. I don't understand how they set shit up with it. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
I don't know. And that's why I try to leverage like a lot of stuff I do. Like if I'm uploading like our content here, I'll try to do it when I'm at work. Just because my upload speed it's more on a fiber network. So like my upload speed of Comcast, you guys know this very full well, has always been atrocious.
Right.
So like I can barely get maybe 5 or 10 megs on an upload with Comcast, and that's just the way it is. But at work, it's reciprocal, so I can routinely get 400 or 500 megs or more I'm only limited by my own devices because I'm too lazy to plug anything in. So anyhow, are we gonna finish this one up with anything else you guys want to do with Vince McMahon or this potential sale, or we're gonna keep this an open book because we're not done yet?
Yeah, it ain't over yet. I just, at this point, I kind of just want it to be over. I want to know what's going on. Obviously, that's not going to happen because it's going to take a while for whatever, no matter who buys it or no matter what they end up doing. It's going to take a while for everything to materialize. That's just the nature of the beast. There's no making this move fast. So I just hope that it's not the Saudis. And I hope that whatever happens, Vince is done. I need him away from this fucking company.
I think first and foremost, that's exactly what I want out of all this. I just do not want his fingerprints on this any longer because this past year has been very watchable. It's been enjoyable. I don't watch it all the time. I don't nearly put the time and effort into it like I once did. But I still pay attention and I still read articles and I still try to catch little clips when I can. But I very much do the same thing with AEW. But I still do more of it with WWE. But when Vince was in charge prior to this last year, it basically got to where I just did not care anymore. It is that bad, and it's really saying something when you've been a fan of something for multiple decades,
Right.
So anyhow, Rich, you got any last minute thoughts before we
Nope.
shut the door?
I haven't watched it in a while, so I'm probably not going to continue not watching it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sounds about right. I guess my parting words are much like last night. Fuck Saudi.